Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me get this lined up here quick and get started. Let me pull this up over here. All right, so how's everybody this morning? My name is Ryan Smith. I am a faculty on ICE. I am part of the Clinical Management and Fitness Athlete course. I'm part of the Fitness Athlete division. I am COO over here at Recharge, which is a combination of a physical therapy clinic and a CrossFit gym as well. So I'm going to give another couple 30 seconds or so to let everybody dive in, and then we're going to get going today on today's questions of the topic of the title of the topic. I've had a lot of coffee this morning, taught 2 classes and an onboarding, so this is going to be a lot today, a lot this morning. I'm going to try to get the veins popping out like Jeff Moore and get a little bit higher pitched and all this stuff. It's going to be great, wonderful. I'm working on my Jeff Moore impersonation, so I'm working on the beard. It's getting there, so we'll have it here shortly. I should be able to see chat stuff when it pops up. Morning, Jason. Look at that. How you doing, buddy? Sandwich, Illinois. Love it. Good. And Jordan Berry coming on. Oh, can't wait to see you guys at all. All right, another couple seconds. We should be good to go. Nice. And I can see comments, so feel free to chime in, be sarcastic, make fun of the beard, do whatever there. That is an O'Hare shirt. When I lived in Chicago, I trained there for a little bit and I have some friends from there. And Angelo Cisco is the man who runs that gym out there, so pretty solid. I'm a Chicago guy at heart, man, I tell you. All right, so let's get started. So the question today, let's make sure I got my timer up. So I've got 15 minutes on the clock. The question today for you all, and mostly geared towards, not just clinicians, but also to clinic managers, to the owners of the clinics, etc., is I want to pose the question of, are you building a culture of strength within your clinic? Let's start with the idea of the design of the clinic itself. Nothing really pisses me off more when I see a clinic that has thousands and thousands of square feet and it is built to look exactly like a doctor's office, right? Like we have little bays with private rooms, we have this and that. You have thousands of square feet that you can do a million different things with in terms of activity, in terms of lifestyle, and you happen to be in a dark box that is then subdivided into smaller boxes with a little bit of carpet, and that is what you're posing off to be a movement expert facility. You are a movement expert facility that is a dark box with dark private rooms that only allows for small amounts of movement. We need to start distinguishing ourselves not only as movement experts, as physical therapists, but the design of the facility that people walk into. It makes an incredible difference for the patient experience, shout out to Jerry Durham, of when someone walks in and they see turf, they see a gym floor, they see weights, they see other types of things in there that make them want to be active. Heck, if there's a track in there, you're getting extra bonus points. When they walk in that is what it's like, and they're not just expected to sit on a table for 45 minutes and raise their ankles up and down or squeeze their quads up and down, etc. You have fundamentally already changed the idea of what they're walking into by the facility design itself. It is not something that we pay enough attention to as clinicians, both when we find a job or are looking for a job, but also as clinic owners when we set something up. Here at Recharge, most of our facility is the actual gym itself. If I showed you our physical therapy room, it is bland, it is simple, it is enough to have a private room if we need it, but usually I take my table out into the gym and I go back and forth from hands-on treatment to looking at movement repeatedly throughout the hour I'm with somebody. And we've automatically designed that in there, so that is the expectation. It's hilarious when you walk, not hilarious, I think it's great when you watch someone's face as they go, all right, so we're going to get started now, right? I'm like, yeah. And I pull the table out into the gym, and I'm like, all right, let's see you deadlift. And they're like, oh, okay. They automatically are now having an expectation that they are expected to move, not just be a passive recipient of care, right? We are setting that expectation that they are going to be an active mover, not a passive recipient of care. In that ability, we then had the facility design set expectations for the patients we are working with. This expectation setting and design also plays a role into if your clinic has a dumbbell set that only goes up to 10 pounds, you are significantly doing something wrong with your facility. I'm floored at all the clinics that I worked at as a student that maybe had a 15-pound dumbbell maximum. Everybody realizes that a new mom who's picking up a baby carrier with a child, that's probably 20 to 30 pounds, right? A parent who's picking up their kids, that's upwards of 15 to 30 to 45 pounds, right? Pushing around a grocery cart, if it's heavy enough for a whole family, is probably 20 or 30 pounds, depending on who's eating. Gosh knows what Jason's got at the store there, right? On a daily basis, people's bodies demand a lot out of them, and we become chronic rehabbers when we're only saying, oh, why don't you use that 10-pound dumbbell or that 2-pound ankle weight, right? Post-op, I understand there's exceptions, but for the majority of the people you're seeing, you are severely underestimating them by not setting the right expectations. And that starts with the facility design. It starts with having dumbbells that weigh more than 10 pounds. You need to establish this as a facility of expert clinicians who are also expert movers. And you do that by encouraging movement and strength training. And so it goes from design to expectations, and then it goes into the employees that you have or you as clinicians. Mitch and I talk a lot about walking the walk, naturally, because we teach a course called Clinical Management of the Fitness Athlete, and we ourselves want to make sure that we are practicing what we preach and that we move in an efficient manner. He had a whole talk about this, I think it was last Friday or 2 Fridays ago, literally about this topic, about if we're going to be movement experts, we have to have a level of competency of movement for ourselves. And what I see in clinics is the directors, is the clinicians, not establishing a systematic way to allow their employees to be able to do that. Setting aside time at lunch to allow individuals to strength train, building in continuing education components that allow them to learn how to strength train better, or learn kettlebells, or learn jump roping, or other type of movement skills. Not only is that beneficial for the employees and the clinicians themselves from just a personal standpoint, but all of a sudden you start seeing these clinicians utilize kettlebells with rehab, utilizing squats and deadlifts more often, and not just from a rehab perspective, but because they felt what it's like to move and know how they're going to prescribe that to those individuals. It makes rehab more fun. It sets more expectations that the patients are seeing their physical therapist move heavy things. They're like, wow, he really knows what he's talking about. He just deadlifted 300 from the floor. He gets it. I've seen him in that. I've seen the videos. I see them hosting, movement events. I see them working with the local 5Ks. I see them getting actively involved, just not by themselves with movement, but with their community movement. And that, again, can dive into the design of the facility and the expectations that you're setting. You are creating a culture of strength that way by doing those 3 things, by the design of the facility, by the expectations that you set to your patients, and by building inherently systematic ways to allow your employees and other clinicians to build on that strength. If you have a clinician or employee that does not want to do that, from your front office staff to your physical therapists, I think you need to strongly consider that why they're in your clinic with you. People might scoff at that and think it's hard to find good help. Well, then you're not finding the right people and attracting enough talent because you aren't building this culture of strength to begin with. And so that's, from the big picture, that's how we can look about that. Now, why is it important for the community overall to have the idea of building a culture of strength in there? Well, one, we need to consider the lifespan of all the people in your community, from the youth strength training component of the kids all the way to the older adults. Imagine if you have a family, mom and dad with 2 kids or something like that, right? And you're working with the mother over maybe a postpartum or something like that. You start talking and you start working with the husband over something that's going on with his low back related issues. And all of a sudden, their kids are also high school athletes that have tweaks here and there. And you're getting them in to work on youth strength training. And all of a sudden, I have a grandmother, or my mother is up there and she's been having issues too. And all of a sudden she's coming in strength training, right? You're able to build a foundation of strength within the families in your community to teach the benefit of having a culture of strength within your facility and how it crosses over the lifespan of an entire family, right? Not just a person's life, the lifespan and spectrum of the family component of that. And that is absolutely huge to be able to have. And it starts with building that culture of strength. we can consider that culture of strength as just a physical component, right? As just building strength, becoming more healthy in that way. That's all great. We understand that. But there's something fundamental about giving somebody something heavy or having somebody move in a way that allows them to overcome that as an obstacle. It builds discipline. It builds other high quality characteristics from a youth strength training component, but also builds an inherent self-motivation and self-worth in individuals who thought they couldn't do it anymore. You'd be amazed when our people have come in here for onboarding, and I ask them to skip. And they're like, I haven't skipped since I was 5. I forgot how to skip. And all of a sudden they relearn that pattern. They relearn how to lift weights. They understand how to go through that. That's all within that culture of strength that you're building. Gamifying rehab, doing those things, having them understand how many squats they can do in a minute. Aaron Perez has a great thing he does with the whiteboard for that. All those things are inherently built into the culture of strength that you're building. And it's not just from a physical standpoint, it's from a psycho-emotional standpoint as well of what you're inherently building them, because you're not just seeing them for that, you're building them out through their entire life and through the lifespan of their family. And that starts with building the culture of strength. Whew, that's a lot of coffee, a lot of interject more. So let me kind of summarize overall if you're kind of tuning in at the end here. The design of our PT clinic facilities suck, and we need to do a better job at how we're designing them. Plain and simple. Get the zoning figured out, do whatever you need to do, design a facility that creates a culture of strength and movement, and you will inherently change the viewpoint of the expectations of your patients. The expectations of your patients are determined by their experience from when they walk in the door, and also by the poundage of dumbbell you give them. If you give them a 5-pound dumbbell and they are a CrossFitter, you have inherently lost that person and then lost the culture of strength that you should be building. And number 3 is setting the expectations for your employees and building a culture there within the employees and clinicians that they too need to be having a certain level of movement practice. Do that by setting aside time to allow them to work on that, either within the day with an hour block, or bringing in continuing education courses that allow them to work on themselves as a movement expert by themselves moving. Set that as an expectation and make it systematic to allow them to do that, and you will have better satisfaction and a higher level expert clinician in doing rehab with the patients. And finally, by building that culture of strength within the clinic, you are able to build strength over the lifespan of the families in your community, from youth strength training and the kids all the way to geriatrics and showing people that they can still be strong and capable throughout their life. If you do that, your PT clinic becomes much more than just a box that's dark, and not a fun box like a CrossFit box, a literal cardboard box. It now becomes a hub that allows you to focus on the health of the community around you and build strength in the way that we're meant to do that as movement experts. Start looking at your clinic as much more than just a inherent cardboard box. It can be so much more. And I want more and more clinicians and clinical directors to understand this and build it out as much as they possibly can to be involved. Whew. All right, so that's that. Quick little shout outs for the courses we got going on. I know that, let me pull this up quick, that there is there's multiple manipulation courses coming up. I know that Dunaway is in North Carolina towards October. I know our fitness athlete live course at Recharge right here where I'm at currently sitting is going to be in October as well. We just got a bunch of new dates for the live courses for the fitness athlete course, including Colorado, including North Carolina and Greensboro with John Davidson down there at GSO CrossFit. We got more in the works in terms of New York. So we're really excited to introduce a lot of those live courses to essentially let your clinicians walk the walk. We have a lot of our online live courses. This is the last cohort we just went through, and we'll see that come again in January. I know, and I'm jacked and jazzercised for the modern management of the older adult course with Christina. Oh, it's not Novak anymore. I don't know what her new married name is, but Christina and Dustin Jones starting in January. If you want to build a culture of strength, you want to know how to work with older adults and allow them to lift kettlebells, and that's going to be a kick-ass course. The persistent pain management course with Dunaway is still kicking butt so far. The performing artist comprehensive management course is going to be in January, I believe, over at Entropy Physiotherapy, so be excited for that. And that's kind of what we have going on for ICE. So big shout out for everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I cut it just in time, I think, so we should be good. And again, look at the clinic you're in. look at if you're building a culture of strength. If you're not, either create it by yourself there and change and influence it, or find a clinic or make your own that does. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate another great day at PT on Ice. Bye.